there, it's Carol Marrock at carolmarrock.com. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Solo and Smart, offering achievable tips when growing older alone. And today's tip is scarcity to surplus, how to improve thoughts about money. Having enough money is a dilemma for a lot of people, and more so for those on a limited income. And it's really, really tragic when people have to choose between buying medications or buying food. And what's worse is their earning power has dwindled, and at this stage, it's difficult to find workarounds and look for ways to earn more money, much less save money. That ship has sailed, and now they have to adapt to the hand they're given. Some couldn't work even if they wanted to, while others with limited income do work before a minimum wage, unfortunately. And they don't have the free time or energy to pick up a second job. The basic rule of personal finance, the one that I mentioned, is spend less than one earns, does definitely become useless at some point. The rule won't change how much money one has, so the person has to adapt the rules to their situation. And here's where being resourceful comes into play. And there's a lot of practical and basic advice about money, how to save it, plan it, not spend it, and even how to make it work for you. And each is really necessary of having enough. And that basic rule I just mentioned about spending less than that one earns is what we usually do. But what helped me more with my money than anything was changing the way I thought about it. And here are some ideas to accomplish just that. Back years ago, when I was in debt and struggling financially, I felt smothered by all the bills and laboring to pay them off. However, I did do that, but it was definitely a struggle. I had to give up on everything except necessities. I was lucky though. This happened to me while I still had many years left to earn more money. What I finally learned was to be grateful for all I had and not worry so much about what I didn't. That act made it easier to stop spending and to overcome the fear of the almighty dollar. So the first thing to do is look for opportunities that give you a leg up. You know, a person can be frugal and cut all their expenses, but earning more money is better, right? Eric Ravenscraft, and he writes about personal finance, and he says sometimes spending less than what you earn or have isn't always helpful because sometimes spending more is actually the better financial decisions. For example, he bought a smartphone on a credit card when he was broke, which at the time he thought was a terrible decision. On the other hand, some months later, without it, he realized I wouldn't have been able to start writing about androids, which is what kickstarted his thriving career now. In virtually all situations, there are cases where buying something can give you a leg up. And he said that he had a reader tell him that they found their leg up was to make money even when they're charging purchases. For example, their example was she never uses cash and she doesn't use an ATM card. She always used credit cards, which are chosen very wisely or carefully. Because she loves to travel and she has yet to pay for a hotel or an airline flight. She always keeps at least one cashback card. And her current card gives her 6% back on groceries and 3% on gasoline. So her leg up is to make money even when charging purchases. Another idea is to seize opportunities. Look for them in everything. If you enjoy making jewelry or other items, create an Etsy account or sell your items and your wares at local fairs. I know several people who do this here where I live. And if you're lucky to receive a sum of money via an inheritance, for example, don't spend it all. Use it to help you reach financial goals like paying off debt or perhaps investing. And there's nothing wrong with treating yourself to a gift or to a night out or a few lunches and dinners or what have you, but acknowledge the opportunity by using it wisely. So some opportunities aren't fun because I had a friend who was working a minimum wage job. However, he saved $10,000 in a few years. I asked him, how in the world did you do that? And he said he took advantage of opportunities. And I love that. I love when people see opportunities instead of problems. And that's exactly what he did. For him, an opportunity was overtime. Well, some would turn up their nose at that. He didn't. He saw it as a way to save money, to go back to school, and so now years later he has a much better job. So make your decisions, but searching for options to help you reach goals will go a long way toward being resourceful. And I think that's the key to being creative and living well and even finding contentment and satisfaction in life is being more resourceful. And finally, focus on what you can do, not what you can't do. And so things like downsizing, selling furniture, or the jewelry that you have or you make. And I'm not suggesting you do any of these things, just pointing out there are options available. And so tailor these suggestions to your situation. Give up what you should in favor of the overall financial health and take advantage of opportunities even though they don't feel like opportunities at the onset. And that's what I found for myself. For example, I give a lot of my time, free time. I volunteer for teaching at lifelong learning institutes. I give presentations. I teach at the oasis.net. And I give free presentations, all of for no pay. But the results have been very lucrative because I've met new business leaders. They've opened doors to other opportunities, as well as meet even startup companies that are looking for help and advice and consulting. So these types of, even though I gave a lot of my time and effort, they have introduced me to paying opportunities. But believe me, it took time, a lot of time and a lot of effort. And you have to be willing to put in the work. But that's what being resourceful is all about. And without resourcefulness, personal finance rules are indeed useless. Well, thank you for joining me today. I hope you picked up one or two useful tips. And circle back for more in a day or so. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you, and I will see you later.